The sound of bells is the soundtrack of life. We ring in a new year, a new nation. We celebrate new life and mark one well lived. Bells are part of our pop culture.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
And commerce. In 400 AD, bells first rang in monasteries. They were made by monks to call people to worship. In Europe during the 15th and 16th century, the first mechanical clocks were built in church towers. They told time by striking bells. Today, that tradition continues in church towers all across America. One of the oldest, founded in 1855 in Baltimore, Maryland, is the McShane Bell Company. Of some 200 bell foundries in America, McShane is one of just a few that still exist today.
So this bell's from 1898.
Meet James Andrew. 5 years ago, he bought the McShane Bell Company and moved it here to St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, I started working with my father at 10 years old. He built clocks, and then the opportunity to buy McShane came up, and it was something I couldn't turn down. So that was the next step in the process, because clocks and bells are synonymous. They go hand in hand.
At one time, St. Louis was the hub of bell casting. There were 37 foundries between 1821 and 1961. The Mississippi River steamboats, as well as the railroad, transported bells east and west.
Being out of St. Louis allows us to get coast to coast within 3 hours.
His mission, James says, is to keep the bells ringing. Throughout the world, there are some 100,000 bells inscribed with the McShane name. They are found in church towers, courthouses, and schools.
I'm in it to continue the tradition of bells and making them function, because if we silence the bells, that'd be very sad.
A very large number of them survive because bells don't wear out. The equipment that hangs them, that rings them, that wears out and has to be replaced. But bells themselves will last forever. And the sound that they make rings for a long time.
Carl Zimmerman is a campanologist. A campanologist is defined as one who studies bells. And boy, does he know bells.
The biggest bell that McShane made, we think, was about 10,000 pounds. We have altogether 8 books of bell records from the McShane Bell Foundry Company. So what this is good for now is that if someone comes in and wants to find out the history of a bell, we can look back here. Chicago, Philadelphia, Buffalo, New York, 6 bells. To Whatcom in the Western Territory, which hadn't become a state yet.
This is a clock tower that's going to have a bell. This is going to Willard, Ohio. So we're building it, and they have an original McShane bell. This one was sold to us by a private individual, and this one will be refurbished, and it is going to Santa's Village in Canada.
One of the oldest church bell towers in St. Louis is St. Vincent de Sales. The church, built in 1904, has 4 bells, one from the original church built in 1867. James and the McShane Bell Company maintain these bells as they ring every 15 minutes except at night.
So we have 25 bells. These are chromatically tuned, and the way to tune them is to put them on a lathe and slowly start from the bottom and work your way out and take chips out of them. So we call it making chips. So this is the way you get the note. So right here, we have 3 different notes.
The bells, when put together, become a musical instrument of sort. 4 or 5 bells make a clock chime. 8 to 15, what's called an American chime. and 23 to 77 bells is a carillon. There are 190 carillons in North America, including one right here in St. Louis. Concordia Seminary houses 49 bells in Luther Tower, and inside is a carillon keyboard. Yes, Carl the campanologist is also a carillonist. He's playing the keyboard in a carillon. He learned to play while an undergrad in college.
I love the pipe organ. I play the piano. In the past, I played flute and piccolo. I've enjoyed them all, but the bells are the instrument of my heart. I can strike a key gently and get a slight sound, or I can whack it and get a loud sound.
John Klinger is the Chief Information Officer for the seminary. He also plays the carillon. He noticed when he was hired back in 2007, nobody was playing the bells. So he asked if he could practice. And soon,
we were playing the bells once a week just to give people something for me to practice and for everyone to hear the bells finally ringing and listening to the hymns again during the school year.
Then during COVID, a series of concerts called Hymns for Hope kept the bells ringing through the pandemic. It is the heart that seems to connect with the ringing of bells, striking a chord that triggers shared memories and hope.
Part of it, I think, is that the sound of a bell doesn't just ring and quit. It rings and then it fades away. So you hear it for a period of time. And the sound of a well-made bell somehow resonates with the human heart.